changed man. Not only is he approaching me, fearless, determined and open, but the signs and synchronicities I am seeing are in my face, bold and mind-blowing. I feel guided, protected, loved, not only by God, but by my twin flame. As I watch the events unfold, I am once again overtaken by the magic, timeless and God-infused love that flows between us. Finally, it feels like we are in this together, no matter what. We have been dancing the twin flame dance for nearly 13 years, majority of which we have had no or minimal communication with each other. I have not seen him for the past 9 years, which we have spent married to other partners, yet it turns out our spiritual and emotional development during this time has mirrored each other perfectly. Right now, the bells of reunion are ringing for us. It's like a trumpet sound in the skies that neither one of us can no longer deny. Once again, we are experiencing this all in perfect sync with each other, with thoughts, emotions and feelings sourced from a common heart space. God is drawing us to each other so loud, so clear that it's undeniable, not just for me but for him too. We let go of each other a long time ago, through miscommunication and misunderstanding, through denial and fear and through choices we considered morally right. However, what we had not done until now was to release the love that was within us all along. That love was meant to flow freely through us, without attempts to control or to restrain it. We were both meant to remember that such love does not belong to us, it does not come from us, it is divine love which is to be returned to God, glorified. The call that we both hear now is to surrender to the love and light that is within us. It is a call to allow the love between us to flow freely, to return to God, to fully align us with His perfect plan for us. Did it really have to take that long, you ask? Could it not have happened sooner? The truth is that surrender cannot be rushed, since it does not happen by a conscious choice, but rather only once we have exhausted all other means of finding purpose, serenity and meaning, and failed miserably at it. In addition, since the reunion of the twins is orchestrated by God, its final pieces only click into place in God's perfect timing. Part of surrender is therefore accepting that the separation, the silences, other relationships, and denying our feelings for each other, were all necessary. It is an illusion that we could have done anything differently to come into union sooner. After all, everything we went through has now led us to this. It led us to God, to an undeniable oneness with each other, feeling fully supported, coming closer and closer to full alignment with what God has planned for us. Surrender, the power of surrender. Surrender empowers us to get closer to our true nature, which is that of our eternal soul infused in God. It is the final step before fully understanding and knowing ourselves, which is the ultimate step before knowing God. Our twin flame is the one who by just being themselves calls us to return to the heart, to our authentic state, a higher state of existing and being, because this is the state in which God expects us to return home. For this, we undergo a process of purification. From all those things that our egos held on to and from all that which no longer serves us. It is only by surrendering ourselves to the reality in front of us, that is acknowledging our feelings and facing our fears, that we can return to the wholeness that we are, by forsaking and shedding all the conditioning and false beliefs that we hold on to. Surrender is the letting go of the old, and instead building the world that we've always dreamt possible. God loves us and wants amazing things for us, but we need to know when we are standing in His way. More than anything, therefore, surrender implies the end of resistance. It requires total acceptance, since we cannot surrender something that we deny, or something that we won't face. Rather, we surrender when we no longer blame, control, deny, compromise, expect, push or pull, ignore, avoid, force, wait or manipulate. Surrender asks us to die to ourselves, to release who we think we are and to become nothing once more so that God can become everything in us. God needs space in us to work through us, and He can only do this once we finally just allow whatever is to be. B42 Aka 7230 D 89809 X7 E9 Phase 0 D 13 CC3 B6. Facing our shadow self. The external battle against the twin flame is only a reflection of the conflict we have inside us. The real enemy withholding us from surrendering is within, and so in order to find peace with others we must first find peace within ourselves. We cannot do this if we haven't become fully aware and conscious of ourselves. This involves a lot more than just letting go of our twin flame and moving on. It involves total honesty with ourselves. We find peace when we accept the truth of who we are. Since we are love, to reach surrender, we must allow the love which is in our hearts to flow. The way to do this is to remove all the obstacles, such as our internal demons, standing in its way. Part of this is acknowledging our shadow side, whether we call it the ego or the lower soul. It is only through bringing into light, loving and disciplining this part of ourself that we start to experience the oneness and remembrance of God, and that we can ever hope to reunite with our twin flame. In fact, much like Jung believed, it is only by embracing this shadow side that we can feel fully alive and whole. By not facing our demons, we are in fact feeding them, allowing the darkness within us to grow. The truth is that we cannot reach our authentic state if we refuse to face the truth of who we are and what is in our heart. If the truth of our heart overwhelms us, shocks us into silence, or puts us in internal heart-mind conflict, then clearly we have not fully come to terms with ourselves. For example, in our heart we know that we belong with our twin flame. It is painful, uncomfortable, and inconvenient, but deep inside we know it's the truth. It's a love that just won't quit. But it's also the truth we deny because of all it entails, since, for whatever reason, we are being held back by our own conditioning, responsibilities and old paradigm relationships. Or perhaps we are not the one being held back, but it is our twin flame is simply unavailable and uninterested. Part of becoming whole again here is changing the false beliefs that are in our heart. We cannot recognize the truth until we recognize the lie which is holding us hostage. The lie being that we could be anything else than our true self. Our twin flame is very much a friend of our shadow, always inviting us to embrace the parts that are the most painful, difficult, or those buried the deepest. They hide in the very shadows that we are afraid to face, always inviting the heart warrior in us to step forward. To proceed, we must find this warrior, the one who will slay the dragon in the shadows guarding our true self. Eventually the longing for that love which fills us and nourishes us grows so strong that the love within us, in its quest to be freed, exceeds our fear of our shadow. Once we take the conscious decision to proceed and face whatever arises, we take ownership of your shadow. By having the courage to face our anger, fear, jealousy, feelings of rejection, loss of love, and guilt, we reclaim our own power. We hope this channel has helped you discover where to start on your actual path. It's a good karma to put a like, subscribe and share. Leave your suggestion in the field below. With all the love to you.